So it feels like every single day I go on the internet, which is already controversial considering I've already made my anti-internet stances very clear, but I go on the internet and I see some company or corporation with their new ad campaign incorporating whatever virtuous political position is the flavor of the week. Or some artist or musician feels the need to sneak some political message into their otherwise non-political piece of art. Back in the day, politics used to just stay in politics. Politicians who were on opposite sides of the aisle would debate all day, then they'd clock out, and after work they'd hang out and pub stomp on doomsday. Maybe not that last part. My point is, there was a time where politics had a healthy disconnect from the rest of our lives. Now politics is an everything all the time gig. It's a 24/7 gig now. It's in the sports, it's in the card games, it's in the ice cream. It feels like there's no facet of modern society that hasn't been infected by politics. So the question I have to ask is, does literally everything have to be political all the time? Does everything have to have politics in it? See, I talk about politics. I've made that clear. I've established my political intentions through vaguely declaring myself the authority over various institutions. I put political messages in music, but it's different when I do it. See, everyone's a hypocrite. I just acknowledge it, which makes me a better hypocrite. My point is, we now live in a society where everyone is expected to have a fully articulated political position on every issue at all times, which is something that I touched on in an old street interview video that I took down because the audio was absolutely atrocious.
What's up?
But the question that I was asking, given that we were in the heat of last summer's social unrest, does every single person need to give an opinion on George Floyd? Like, what if I'm just an apolitical person? Matter of fact, what if I'm just stupid? What if I am incapable of developing an opinion that holds water? Well, I was told that not voicing an opinion, that silence is violence, meaning that if you're too stupid to develop an opinion, you are committing an act of violence. If you're not fitting a political message into everything you do, whatever it is, you're committing violence. So what we have, when you remove politics from a strictly political realm and then try to cram it into everything else, when you try to make everyone voice a political opinion, regardless of their capabilities, for obvious reason, politics loses its integrity and it becomes insufferably annoying. You can't pack a well-formulated policy recommendation to a candy bar. All you can really do is make the lines non-parallel. You can't expect everyone to formulate and express their own unique opinions on police relations, but they can all post black squares on Instagram. You can't really bake an entire critique of America's handling of race relations into a song that's about other things, but what you can say is that if you're racist, then don't come to my show. Which of course makes things devolve very quickly. Whether or not these people have serious, deep political intentions, these are all just surface level statements. Aggressively stated opinions, if you will. Maybe you think racism is bad. Okay, great. But with that line, all you're doing and all these other cheap panders is you're putting yourself on a pedestal so that you can cast judgment on everybody else. And see, I wasn't racist before. Okay? But you've made yourself so high and mighty that you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend my entire weekend instilling in myself a deep, visceral hatred of Italians, and then I'm going to come to your show. Point being, we don't need to be reminded that racism is bad every second of the day. We don't need to be reminded of a certain police brutality incident every second of the day. You're not going to convert anyone with this kind of messaging. All you're going to do is make the crazy people even crazier, which is probably exactly what they want to do. But now, they don't just see politics everywhere some corporation or artist decides to put politics. Now, they see politics, more specifically racism and white supremacy, literally everywhere. These people have developed an interesting form of schizophrenia, which manifests differently in different cultures. Allegedly in Asian cultures, schizophrenic hallucinations are very goofy and silly. But here in America, the hallucinations are just racist. The weather is racist. The pollution is racist. The fat people are racist. Or the idea of fat people is racist. I don't know. The dogs are racist. The soap dispensers are racist. Which that one, okay, like yes, but it's racist in the same way that your grandpa's racist, which is like, you know, it's playful. But what these people now believe, especially the journalists, is that there's racism behind every corner and that finding it and calling it out makes you a good person. As the saying goes, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When you're a journalist or a self-proclaimed anti-racist, everything is racist. Politics is everywhere at all times, which means that stupid people are no longer able to just check out and disengage, which corporations are trying to capitalize on in the same way that the directors of a Netflix show or sitcom might... That's not a stutter. That was a stutter. That was not a pun. We trust the plan. The directors of a Netflix show... The directors of a Netflix show or sitcom, let's go! Sitcom might at some point figure out that their fans are brainless NPCs, and even though their show should have ended 4 seasons ago, they can still keep shoveling out half-baked content and no one's gonna stop watching. All these companies realize that they could take their product, slap on a minor aesthetic change, which cost them basically pennies, put their fists in the air and say solidarity, and see if it makes them a bunch of money, which is really just a cost-effective way to not get canceled by the mob for not being woke enough. And I find it hard to believe that anyone can actually think these companies care about them. These companies, all of these companies, they're all part of the resistance. Do you really think a corporation who doesn't pay their workers really cares that their logo vaguely resembles Hitler? No, they don't. They just want a virtue signal, and it costs them basically nothing to have some intern redesign the logo. Do you really think a cookie company cares about transgender people? No, it took them 30 seconds to tweet trans people exist, which is debatable. But either way, they don't care. The only thing they care about is their bottom line. They just want to make money. They don't want to get canceled and boycotted by the mob. But the thing is, though, the toll will always be paid. I promise you that. The ratings are down. NBA, MLB, the Oscars, the Grammys. Turns out their cute little stunts didn't make them any money. Does making a rainbow-themed card deck change anybody's opinion on gay rights? No. Play with pride? I'll tell you what, how about we just play? If I was trying to sit down and play a fun game of Uno, and one of the game members decided he was just going to go ahead and monopolize the conversation and make the entire thing about his persuasion, whatever that happened to be, I would be pretty cheese. Just play the game. Why can't we just take a break from it all and play a silly card game? I can't even take a break and break you off a piece of that Kit Kat bar anymore because all the sections are weird and lopsided. And it's not like in regular Uno there was some rule that says you can't be gay, which by the way would be a completely valid rule if your sexuality was somehow inhibiting proper play. But as far as I'm aware, gay people have been more or less successfully playing Uno this entire time. We know you're just trying to sell more decks. Maybe they don't though. I don't know. What this all comes down to is there's certain people with political intentions whose movement is benefited by stupid people. They want stupid people in politics because they're easy to control. And you get those people into politics by making everything about politics. It's very simple, truly. Why does everything have to be so partisan? It's annoying. I don't need ice cream to tell me what to do, but stupid people do. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Good news, if you're watching this video, the Mammoth Hunting Party Discord is live, so check the description for the link. Also, follow me at @Badanlaw on Instagram and Twitter, and I will see you later.